What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what we know so far about Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 4 Override, with the trailer coming out and then some other news as well. We actually know a fair amount about this season. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, comment down below what change you're most excited to see, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting the Season 4 Battle Pass, or anything else, it is Evolved Jake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So, starting off with the weapons that we should be seeing in the loot pool, we got a look at several of these throughout the trailer, and typically items that are shown in a Fortnite trailer do end up being a part of the loot pool that season. Starting off with the tactical pistol, we can see one of the characters from Persona use this in the trailer, so it definitely should be coming to the loot pool next season. And the tactical pistol actually did get buffed towards the end of Chapter 7 Season 1, so we might be in store for another pistol meta. Hopefully not, but we will see. Also, the 8-bit shotgun was shown in the trailer. This is a shotgun that kind of looks like a gaming controller and, retro at that. And this shotgun, we don't really know too much about from the trailer. It can be hard to tell, like, fire rate and all that and what style shotgun it is going to be. But it definitely seems like it has a very large impact on aiming down sights. The clips we see in the trailer, the reticle gets really tight, kind of reminds me of the Infiltrator shotgun in that way. And then also there seems to be some sort of like score and combo effect that you can see at the bottom of the screen when this is being used in the trailer. The Mega Man Blaster is another item we see being used in the trailer, and we don't know too much about it, but this immediately just reminds me of the Bug Blaster from Chapter 6 Season 4, and with how Fortnite has done things in the past, it wouldn't remind me if this weapon plays very similar to the Bug Blaster from that season, because we have kind of seen that happen where certain collab items play very similar to, some Fortnite original items that we had in the past. The regular SCAR assault rifle is seen in the background of the trailer. At one point, somebody pointed this out to me in my comments yesterday, and this sounds disappointing for a lot of players, especially zero build players, but the SCAR was also buffed pretty significantly towards the end of Chapter 7 Season 1, but the only way to attain it was from the Midas floppers, so it wasn't really used that much, or it wasn't really that prevalent, but the SCAR actually could be a pretty solid third-person AR with the buffs they gave it towards the end of that season. There also is these Tetris blocks that we see in the trailer at one point, and towards the end of the clip where this is shown, you see the little plus icon for health. So I think this will be some sort of like cover item combined with a heal, where you throw this down and then it heals people in the radius when the Tetris happens, when some of the blocks disappear. So that may or may not be good, but that is kind of my expectation of how the Tetris item will work based on what we saw in the trailer. We also know plenty of map changes that will be coming next season. It seems like Sinister Strip, Calamari Canyon, and Frosted Flats are all removed. The Sonic biome in that area is going to be replacing the desert and Calamari Canyon. There's going to be a temple area that is replacing Sinister Strip. And then Geno's new Dark Dominion is what replaces Frosted Flats. And there's also this weird thing that's in the middle that kind of replaces the 0 point area. And this seems like it has like, it's either powering or drawing power from a lot of the other kind of areas on the map. There will also be plenty of other minor map changes, surely. Like, for example, we have this soccer area that seems to have been replaced by a Pac-Man Ghost Island. There's always plenty of like kind of minor or unknown map changes when we come into a new Fortnite season, but it seems like the main kind of named POI changes are going to be Sinister, Calamari, and Frosted Flats all removed and then replaced with those other areas that I touched on. We also will likely see more map changes once we get to Fortnitemares, because Fortnitemares should be happening in Chapter 7 Season 4 as well, and that usually brings new map changes. We know of plenty of sprites that will be in next season, and I know the community is kind of burnt out on sprites, and there seems to be a lot of pushback or a lot of just negativity around sprites in general. But listening to these abilities, I do think these sprites will actually affect the gameplay in a meaningful way. First, we have the Sonic sprite, which seems to give you some sort of improved sprint like how Sonic has. The Tails sprite will allow you to hover in air. That was shown in the trailer with the Persona skin. The Rabbit sprite will allow you to do a double jump probably after a certain amount of time or dealing a certain amount of damage. We see that in the trailer as well. There's a Kill Switch sprite, and this will likely allow you to have some sort of slow-mo while aimed on sight in air, like how the Kill Switch revolvers had. And with those revolvers, they also had a huge accuracy bonus when you did that, and maybe we see something like that come to this sprite as well. I don't really expect the dashes of the revolver to be a part of this sprite, though. I think it'll be more of the in-air hang time and potential accuracy benefit. There's also several sprites that we don't know the effect of. There's a Klombo sprite. I think this will probably give you some sort of improved slide because that's what it looked like in the trailer to me. There's a Victory Crown sprite, an Adventurer sprite, the Bushranger sprite, and then also the 5 Design a Sprite contest winners, which when the people made these sprites for the design, they did pick an ability for it or describe an ability for it, but I don't know if it's been confirmed at all. I don't think it has. If these sprites will have the abilities the creator chose, or if they were just kind of designing the look of it. I think it'll probably be a mix of both, where maybe some do what the designer chose, and then others might be like reined in a little bit or changed, just kind of depending on what Fortnite sees fit. So we do know of several sprites, and a lot of these I think have potential to affect the game, especially the rabbit sprite. That double jump will probably be pretty good. The kill switch sprite could be insane, especially if you get an accuracy bonus. So I know recently, there's been a lot of hate within the community and people acting like sprites aren't game content and they're only there to be collected or seeked out, but I don't agree with that at all. I think having these sprites give you some sort of ability or benefit definitely does change how you play and can potentially change your playstyle. And so I think these sprites are actually a meaningful piece of content. So this next thing isn't entirely confirmed, but it seems like we may be getting some sort of modifiers from the cartridges. Throughout the trailer, you can see the cartridges go into the machine, and that maybe brings some amount of changes. And I expect this to be kind of something similar to the rift anomalies we've had in Chapter 7 Season 1. We don't know if it'll be random like rift anomalies or if players will be activating it. But right now, it is expected that the Sonic cartridge, when activated, gives unlimited stamina and speed boost. The KO cartridge, which is the fighting game one, will either make your pickaxe one-hit kill or just make your pickaxe deal more damage. You can kind of see this in the trailer when it's activated. Jonesy pickaxes this lady and she dies. The Cyberpunk cartridge likely does something with ammo boxes. I also forgot to touch on this weapon. There is a dual-wield spray weapon from the Cyberpunk Edge Runner. So that was shown in the trailer as well when the kill switch sprite was. And this will likely be similar to a lot of other dual-wield spray weapons we've had, where you just, hold down the shoot button and empty the weapons. And there should be more cartridges. And like I said, it isn't really known or 100% confirmed how these things will work. If they will, last the rest of the game, if it'll be a limited time like a rift anomalies. And then maybe it could also just only affect certain areas. The way the trailer showed it, it seemed like each time one of these cartridges were put in, they were showing a different area on the map. So it might be that these cartridges only affect limited areas or for a limited amount of time. There's a lot of kind of unknown there, but it definitely seems like these cartridges or modifiers will be a part of the game in next season. And with the 0 point seemingly being out of play, it does make sense if they wanted this to essentially be the new rift anomalies. We also have gotten a look at the Battle Pass, not only from the trailer that was posted yesterday, but today the Battle Pass trailer was actually posted. And it seems like it's going to be mostly original skins that are meant to be references to other game genres. So I'll have it on screen here now. There's like a generic army character. There's a, generic RPG character that definitely seems inspired by Link from The Legend of Zelda. There is some sort of stealth character. There's a fighting game character. There's also going to be this new customizable block skin with, different outfits and different styles. This reminds me of Minecraft, but also I think this is supposed to be like the Tetris skin. And then Geno will be a part of the Battle Pass, and then the Sonic the Hedgehog skin as well. So I know a lot of people are disappointed that the Battle Pass isn't just completely full of collabs and that you will have to buy them from the item shop, but the Sonic the Hedgehog skin is going to be a part of the Battle Pass, so that is at least one collab in the Battle Pass. But we also do know of a bunch of collabs that will be coming to the game from the key art. So I'll have it on screen now, but there's just countless here. There's Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Pac-Man, the Tetris character, I think. The character from Kingdom Hearts is on here. There's just, an absurd amount of collabs on this screen, or on this cover art, key art. Sorry, I cannot talk. There's a lot of collabs here, and so you can look at this and kind of, try to find if there's any sort of collab or character that you're really excited for that will likely be coming to the shop at some point during next season. And as I said, we will be getting Fortnitemares during next season, so there likely will be a lot of kind of horror or, Halloween collabs coming during that time as well. They just don't market Fortnitemares in the initial season kind of marketing. If you remember last year, it was like a complete shift in the season when Fortnitemares came out, and a lot of people were kind of unhappy about that. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.